South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. Well, all right. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program for this Sunday morning. We're wrapping up a busy weekend of racing from half a world away right here to our backyard. We welcome you to the Race Day show for this Sunday. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world right here at the South Point Studios at the South Point Hotel Complex, Hotel Casino Complex right here on Las Vegas Boulevard, the Las Vegas Strip. We welcome you to the show. We come to you again direct from this gaming capital. And, of course, all the listeners out here, not only here in Las Vegas, but around the world, get a chance to listen to us on many different platforms. They are here in Las Vegas, our anchor radio station, KSHP 1400 Sports Talk 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. That's where you can hear us here in Las Vegas. If you're running around the Las Vegas early this morning, listening in your car. Maybe you want to listen to us on your devices. We have that as well, the KSHP app. Put that on your devices. You can hear us on your iPhones or your Androids, and certainly anywhere you get your podcasting, we're there as well. As a matter of fact, John Lindo, who is in studio with us, John, you found us on Apple podcast?
Yeah, a listener. Good morning, Ralph. A listener on Twitter or X yesterday copied me on a note he put out, a picture of Race Day Las Vegas on the Apple podcast.
On the Apple podcast. You know, our webmaster, Jack, who does a great job.
He's the best.
Best, absolutely. Finds all these, he continues to put us on all of these platforms that we can get on for podcasting. So, simply put, however, wherever, whenever, welcome to the Race Day Show. Glad to have John Lindo in studio with us this morning, and as a matter of fact, this weekend. It started out real early yesterday morning, John, with the racing in Saudi Arabia in the Saudi Cup. And it was an exciting night of racing. Then we moved right into the big racing card at Oaklawn Park. So it was exciting for sure yesterday, and it's going to keep getting exciting because next weekend at Gulfstream Park, they've already drawn the card for next week, the Saturday card at Gulfstream Park. 9 stakes races that'll be highlighted by the Fountain of Youth.
Right, 14 race card. They start a little bit earlier than usual, and the Fountain of Youth is the 14th and final race, so we got to pace ourselves.
Yeah, no question about it. But it's going to be great racing because with those 9 stakes races, there's going to be those stakes races will represent all sorts of divisions of racing here, and of course. It'll be exciting to see that Fountain of Youth. But there is a special, there's kind of a really neat allowance race the day before on Friday that some of the horsemen, some very good 3-year-olds, are using that race for a prep for the Florida Derby and not the Fountain of Youth.
Right. I think the horse that we want to keep an eye on is a horse named Speak Easy, who won first time out for Todd Pletcher, earned a very, very high Buyer's figure first time out. That was, I think, a 1-turn mile, so he'll go 2 turns. He's also entered in the Fountain of Youth on Saturday. So, maybe Todd Pletcher was hedging to see what post he drew on the Fountain of Youth. He drew the rail, which is a good spot at Gulfstream Park, going around 2 turns. So we'll see where he decides to go, but they have some options there. But there's that allowance race Friday is worth watching. Some good 3-year-olds in there.
Absolutely. Not only that horse, of course, Pletcher now has his option to scratch out either one of those races. But there's other horses in that race that they're going to use that as a prep for the Florida Derby. So, but we got, 9 horses in the Fountain of Youth?
Currently, 9 horses drawn in the race. And, the headliners are Dornoch, who beat Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
And we saw what Sierra Leone did last week in the Resident Star. Mm-hmm. And who's our other headliner, Ralphie?
The other headliner is Locked.
Exactly, yeah. And he's the one that missed the Resident Star. He had a little bit of a fever, so he skipped that race, and he comes into Gulfstream Park.
Yes. That's going to be exciting next week. But I got to tell you, we're going to do a real quick wrap-up here, folks, of what happened yesterday, because it started out, as we say, a half a world away early in the morning, but we got to the stakes races, and before we went on the air, the Saudi Derby was contested, and the winner there, Forever Young, paying $3.50, outrunning Bookham Dano and Ben Tornado. And by the way, those 2 horses ran second and third with American representatives, but the winner was the Japanese.
Right. A very good race. The Americans struggled except for the big race yesterday, but, in general, you're going to see our best in the dirt sprinters, but they just remake is the horse that got the dirt sprint done for the Japanese.
And of course, the Riyadh dirt sprint was won by Remake, the Japanese horse. Again, $9 even, just nailing Skelly, who set all the early pace. Skelly had such a huge race last time at Oaklawn Park and went there, but he finished second after setting the pace. Bold Journey finished third in that race. A $9 win mutual there.
Yeah, and he was good because Skelly looked like he was gone midway down the stretch. But that is a long stretch in Riyadh, and you got to give the jockey a board. He waited some more. Yeah. A terrific ride.
Looked like the closers had their moment yesterday at the Saudi at the King Abdul Aziz racecourse. That's for sure. The turf sprint was won by Anay, with Mr. Ryan aboard at $34.90, outrunning La Christine and Byline. To be honest with you, I did not see that race.
Best ride of the day. I tell you, Russell Ryan, from an outside post, I don't know how he did it, but he got down to the fence around that turn, and he came up the rail through a really tight, narrow opening, got the job done. He does not win unless he gets that trip.
Wow. Good ride. Well, those European riders, especially Ryan Moore on some of those turf races that we've seen in the past on these big days, they really know how to negotiate not only traffic, but they find the rail and an opening on the rail with those guys.
They know the importance of saving ground on the grass.
Yeah,
you watch these guys, and they dive to that fence when they can.
Okay, the Turf Cup at 1 5/16 won by Spirit Dancer, 29.40, so it was a little bit of an upset there, outrunning Killer Ability and Caliph. I did not see that race either. I was in transit.
Yeah, clean trip for the winner, and really no excuse for anybody. I thought you can't make an excuse for anybody in the race. The best horse won at a big number. He's been an improving horse. Wasn't the quality of this type of horse,
right?
And then last year he started to pick it up, and he gets a big score on a big day.
Big score, that's for sure. That race was worth $2 million. The $2.5 million Red Sea Handicap at 1 7/8 on the turf. This was a marathon. The winner there was Tower of London. Talking about Ryan Moore, he gave one of those rides again, paying $8.10. outrunning Enemy and Giavolato.
I tell you, he had a bad post drawn far outside. He ended up having to go back to last, and he was trapped behind horses a lot down on the inside. A lot of the way he tried to get through inside. He tried to get between horses. Finally, about a third of the way down the stretch, he said, "The heck with it." He angled outside and came powering home, and he gets up in the last jump. Yeah. I love to watch this guy ride marathon grass races. He is unbelievable, Ralph.
He sure is. I mean, he's given those nail-biting type of rides on many different occasions, but always seems to get there and find the room.
I don't know. He doesn't lose a whole lot of photos.
No, he doesn't. That's for sure. And talking about a photo, the big photo of the day around the world was in the Saudi Cup, the $20 million Grade 1 Saudi Cup, where in the final, and I mean the absolute final jump of this race in that long stretch on the race course there, the racetrack there, Senor Buscador gets up to win for Junior Alvarado and Todd Fischer. 28.80 for the win there, just nailing Yeshiba Tercero, a horse that you like very much, and Saudi Crown, one of the early pace setters. The early pace setter finished third in that race. I thought it was certainly an exciting race, but it looked like that Senor Buscador finally found the pace that he needed and the long stretch that he needed to finally get up and win. The little guys win the big race, the Saudi Cup yesterday.
Oh, you mean yourself? Oh.
No, yeah, well, I did
nice
too,
pick,
but I wasn't riding.
It was a great pick, but how about a New Mexico trainer, Todd Fincher,
yeah,
winning a $20 million race, and Junior Alvarado, who I've been a big fan of. He had a great year last year, Cody's Wish and horses like that, and to win this type of race, I mean, he's just had an unbelievable run, and I love to see it. You don't think Todd Fincher's going to be a popular guy in New Mexico?
Oh man, they're going to probably name a street after him by Sunland Park, that's for sure. But I could tell you this, that this horse was purchased for $40,000, which makes the little guy feel good too.
Well, they can sell him for more than that if they want.
Oh, I think so. No question about that. Todd Fischer, by the way, I was looking up his background. He was at one time a quarter horse rider in Mexico.
And you look at him; he's a tall. He's a pretty tall guy. I was a little surprised when you said he rode races before. I said, "Holy mackerel!" But he's a great horseman. He comes down to Del Mar every summer. He wins races in Southern California too. He knows what he's doing.
So, folks out there, when you're thinking, you'll definitely know the definition and the meaning between Fischer and Pletcher now. That's for sure. Todd Fischer winning that big one there. Senor Buscador finally gets up and wins, and was a heck of a day there at the racetrack in Riyadh. All right, then we get closer to home. Of course, Oaklawn Park, where they had 4 big stakes races there. In the Carousel Stakes, Zeitlos wins.
Yeah, we were working on that name yesterday. It's a good thing we did because he looked good winning that the Carousel.
He sure did. Yeah. For Steve Asmussen and Tyler Gaffleon. That was Jonathan Hardoon's selection in that race for us when we went over those races with Jonathan. Paid $340 as the favorite. Backyard Money was second, and Mucho Macho Girl finished third. Then in the Honeybee Stakes, this had 50 points for the Kentucky Oaks at stake in that race. The winner there, this was another great story of the day. The winner there was Lemon Muffin. Lemon Muffin was ridden by Keith Asmussen, of course, Steve's son. First graded stakes win for this kid. And this horse won the race for D. Wayne Lucas, the coach. This was Lucas's third win of the day at that track. His 634th career graded stakes win, but more importantly was Lemon Muffin was a maiden and beat these horses. Broke her maiden in the $400,000 Honeybee and got quickly 50 points for the Kentucky Oaks. And you think D. Wayne's going?
he gets a maiden who's never been 2 turns to win the Honeybee. He's got Kentucky Oak points. He's going. Yeah.
$58.20 if you believed in Mr. Lucas for the Win Mutual there, outrunning Tapit Genali and West Omaha finished there. West Omaha had a little bit of a troubled trip, too.
She was in jail every step of the way. I would give her another chance out of that race.
Yeah, me too. In the Razorback Stakes, the winner there was Octane, who had plenty of gas to win that one at $13 even. Julien Le Peru and Juan Alvarado, the trainer there. Again, $13 winning over the big favorite in the race, Magic Tap, and Notary was third. And then in the big race, the Rebel, 50 Kentucky Derby leaderboard points up for grabs. $1,250,000 purse at 1 1/16. The winner there, as billed, Timberlake, and boy, did he look solid in that race. Christian Torres wins it for Brad Cox, $3.60 as the favorite. Jonathan Hardoon was touting this horse all week long. He loved the horse. Timberlake got the job done. Common Defense, a big, nice long shot, was second. By the way, Common Defense is a horse that you liked in this race. Northern Flame finished third in the Big E there.
And Timberlake got a Beyer speed figure of 93. He did prove he could go 2 turns yesterday, and he got a lot of experience. He sat in between and behind horses, took a lot of dirt in his face, angled out when he had to, got the job done. He was drifting out a little bit down the stretch. He might have just been getting tired off the layoff. And we'll see now where he moves forward. He has enough Derby points now to get into the big dance. Sure. So the connections can pick and choose where they want to have their final prep.
Well, we might want to ask Jonathan Hardoon, since he's got a connection there with the Cox stable, where they might be going next. And Tyler Gaffleone got his 3rd win of the day in the 12th and final race there at Oaklawn. That was a nice Beyer figure that Timberlake got, but it wasn't the highest Beyer figure of the day. We go to Santa Anita, and in the 8th race, wasn't a feature, it was just an allowance race at a mile for 4-year-olds and up. And in that 8th race, Judge Miller wins it for Frankie Dettori's 2nd win of the day. He was the favorite and paid $3.40, but what a Beyer number this horse got.
He won by 11 lengths. He's a full brother to Clairiere, the very good route filly that Steve Asmussen had. And I tried to beat him on the radio yesterday, which was obviously a mistake, but he got a Beyer speed figure of 105, which was the fastest Beyer speed figure of the year so far on dirt. So we'll see where he goes. He's a Curlin, so that was his first try around 2 turns. He obviously loved it.
All I can say is it might be too close to get him in the Santa Anita handicap, but boy, he's got a Beyer number to race against any one of those horses that comes up, of course, next Saturday, the first Saturday in March, the Santa Anita handicap. And in the earlier, the stakes race of the day, the Santa Ana at a mile and a quarter on the turf, Linda's Gift won as expected. Tiago Pereira gave a great ride on this horse, just stalking and waiting and getting the job done for trainer Richard Mandela, who had his 2nd win of the day there. Linda's Gift paid $4.60, outrunning Leisure Wear and Kenejani, who finished 3rd in that race.
And she's a filly. You got to give Pereira credit, because Linda's Gift went wire to wire the last 2 times, and Leisure Wear was intent on making the lead, and Tiago didn't get hooked up.
Yeah.
He sat right behind, and the filly came back to him. She rated, and when it was time to go, she really finished well. She is extremely sharp right now.
Smart ride by Pereira there, that's for sure. And again, jockeys who won 2 races on the day were Frankie Dettori, Kazuchi Kimura, and Antonio Frisu. I got to tell you, there was a show plunger at Santa Anita yesterday, right?
It was strange, Ralph. And in the 3rd race, somebody bet $50,000 to show on sneakers, ran 2nd. 4th race came back on Mr. Dream Cycle, $50,000 to show there, ran 2nd. And then you had Kings River Knight, $50,000 in the 5th race to show, won the race. Came back in the 6th race on Vegas Burner, got beat a nose for 3rd.
Oh!
So the show plunger went down, and the show prices in the 6th race were $6.20 for Yellow Brick, $22.60 for Ashcroft, and $9 for Appreciate Today. You got to remember, if you're doing show parlays or show plunging, you've got to hit 20 out of 21 to break even.
Yeah, well, he's behind the 8 ball now.
Yeah,
that's for
I don't
sure.
think the ATM's going to give him another $50,000 to start today.
And by the way, Kings River Knight paid $3.20 for the win in that race.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so that's a tough way. That's a tough way to make a living.
Yeah, that's absolutely for sure. But a 2-5 shot got beat in the 3rd race, and an even money horse got beat in the 4th race. Made you kind of feel good, but out of the entire card, 6 favorites win at Santa Anita.
Yeah.
At Aqueduct yesterday, the Haynesfield was won by Whittington Park, 27-20. Jeremiah Engelhardt there, Kendrick Carmouche, the rider there. In the race, the favorite, Maker's Candy, was eased out of that race. And Jonathan Hardoon came with a nice winner in the 9th race, and that horse paid $2.90.
It was a dead heat. Give him a break.
Yeah, I know. But hey, listen, he paid more than the horse he dead heated.
That's right.
with.
He found the bigger price.
That's right. The other horse only paid $2.70. So a little razzmatazz for Jonathan there in that race. The pick 6 paid over $40,000 yesterday at Aqueduct. Gulfstream Park hosted the Gulfstream Park Sprint. That winner there, Run Classic. Hobby Castellano's 2nd win of the day for Jose Delgado, paying $10.20. At Laurel Park, a couple of $100,000 stakes races. The Wide Country won by Miss Harriet, $5 even. The Miracle Wood won by Speediness at $3.60. And jockey Jamie Rodriguez rode both those winners in those stakes races yesterday. So he had a big day at Maryland. Tampa Bay, Lightning City, Mark Cassie's played the music one there, paying $6.80 for Antonio Gallardo. And Smithwick Spice won the Leinster Turf Dash for Daniel Centeno, paying $14.20. And finally, at Turfway Park last night, the winner there of the Wintergreen Chop Chop for Brad Cox. Luan Machado Road paying $5.56. You know they pay down to a dime there for the return. Flashy Gem was second. Icicles was third. And that was a wrap-up of yesterday, but we got racing today. When we come back, more with John Lindo. We get Jonathan Ardoon's thoughts about what happened yesterday as well. And we have Rich Eng standing by along with Jerry Jackowitz. And, of course, your racing menu. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And if you're watching at YouTube on South Point Studios, that's where you go, YouTube, and then hit South Point Studios. You'll get us, you'll see us, you'll hear us. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. As we said, next week is going to be a big week, a big day next Saturday at Gulfstream Park. And John, they've already drawn for the Fountain of Youth. And quickly from the rail out, number one is Speakeasy, Red Ortiz Jr. for Todd Pletcher. The two is La Dombro, Edwin Gonzalez for Inel Cordero. Then we have Victory Avenue, John Velasquez for Gustavo Delgado. The four is Real Macho, Tyler Gaffleone for Ronan Sertron. The five is Dornock, Luis Zayas for Danny Gargan. The six is Merritt, Edgard Zayas for Safi Joseph Jr. The seven is Frankie's Empire, Miguel Vasquez for Michael Yates. The eight is Locked, Jose Ortiz for Todd Pletcher, and the nine is Dancing Groom, Javier Castellano for Antonio Seno. And again, like you said, Speakeasy has an opportunity of going either in the race at the Fountain of Youth or the very, very competitive and quality allowance race the day before on Friday.
You talk about that race. Victory Avenue is the horse that Speakeasy beat in that maiden, so we have a maiden in the Fountain of Youth as well.
Man.
We've seen this happen yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Can history repeat itself? We'll wait and see. That's for sure. All right, time to get started with the racing menu of racetracks available today in the race book. Simulcast centers, racetracks around the country. First post times, as you know, are Pacific. We give it the Pacific first post times because that's the first post times will roll out right here at our racebook at the South Point and here in the Pacific time zone. Listing anywhere else in any other time zone, adjust to it. Well, I don't want you to miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad. So here we go. Here's your menu for today. We begin with Gulfstream Park. 10 races today at Gulfstream. Pick 6 jackpot carryover is a goodie. $468,411 in the pot there today at Gulfstream. And again, first post time is at 9:10. Laurel Park is next. They have 9 races at Laurel today, and they have a carryover in their Pick 6 jackpot of $2,187. First post time at Laurel Park is at 9:25 for their 9-race card. All right, Tampa Bay is next. Tampa Bay has 9 races. Tampa Bay's first post time is at 9:30. And their Pick 6 jackpot carryover there, $12,683. Then we get to the Big A in New York, Aqueduct Racecourse, and it's sunny, 35 degrees at Aqueduct. Fast, the track is fast. There's no carryover in the Pick 6, as we said it was hit yesterday. 9 races today at Aqueduct. The feature is the $100,000 Gander Stakes. That'll be the 8th at a mile for 3-year-olds. 6 go to the post in that one. And right now, the 8-5 favorite is Pandagate with Dylan Davis aboard at Aqueduct. First post time, 9:50 there. Oak Lawn Park, the day after their big racing, they got another 10-race card today at Oak Lawn Park and a goodie. Good races, really competitive races there. First post time is 10:30. The Fairgrounds Nollins has 8 races. Their first post time is 10:45 at the fairgrounds. They have a pick six, a regular pick six carryover, $10,042 there, 10:45 first post. Sunland Park has all quarter horses today, 9 quarter horse races. First post time is 11:25 at Sunland Park. Small super high 5 carryover there, $183. All right, then we go to Santa Anita. 10 races today at Santa Anita. Day 2 of good weather there at Santa Anita. How about that, folks? 10 races today. The feature is the Wishing Well at 6.5 furlongs on the turf for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, a field of 11. And it's a good competitive race, too. The morning line favorite, lukewarm at that, is 7-2, and that's Graceland Gray with the Kazuchi Kimura aboard. First post time, Santa Anita, 12:30 today. Golden Gate has 8 races. Their first post time is 12:45 at Golden Gate. They got a super high 5 carryover there of $4,559. Pick 6 jackpot carryover there, $1,893, 12:45 first post at Golden Gate. And then we wrap it up in Los Alamitos tonight. Now, you know what happens at Los Al. If they don't have a carryover in their pick 6, they seed the pick 6 pot at 10 grand. So there's already 10,000 sitting in their pick 6 pot. It's a regular pick 6 at Los Al. First post time 5:15. They'll have a couple of thoroughbred races, 4 mixed breeds, 3 quarter horses. The last race is the quarter horse stakes race. $115,000 stakes race for maidens. And that's at 350 yards. First post time, Los Al, 5:15. And that's your menu for today. And now we'll bring in Jonathan Hardoon. I'm sure he's got a thing or two to say about what happened yesterday. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. Good morning, John. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Jonathan, you know, here's the deal, buddy. Sometimes you got to just stick with a horse. Now, I know you loved Senor Buscador for a long time. You picked him several times, and you jumped ship yesterday.
You got to be loyal in this world, Ralph. What could I tell you? I decided to jump off one race too late. I just figured he had so much racing in a short period of time. I thought it would finally catch up to him, and obviously it didn't. Congratulations to him and the connections, and it's a great story, Ralph. $40,000 purchase, and congratulations to you. You were the only one smart enough to pick him, and good job.
No, it's not called smart. It's called even a blind squirrel finds an acorn once in a while. That's what it's called. In any case, I'll take it, and we'll move on, that's for sure. And what a story out of Oaklawn Park, the Honeybee. Dwayne Lucas, what is he? He's got to be close to 90, isn't he? I mean, here's a guy that keeps going and going and going. He takes a maiden and wins the Honeybee, and he gives, Keith Asmussen his first stakes win of his career and his 634th graded stakes win for the coach.
It's amazing. I mean, and he was off to a slow start at this meet. I think he had like 3 or 4 wins, and certainly picked the right day to shake things up. And congratulations to him. He just keeps going. And like you and John said, he will be running her for sure. He's not passing it up. If he gets an opportunity to go, why not? And congratulations to Keith Asmussen. Not many jockeys start off without being an apprentice, and that's what the case with him. He was just too big to claim any weight. You know, he rides at like 122 or whatever, so he was never an apprentice, but he's got a lot of wins, and he's certainly in the right barn riding for his dad.
Wow.
And yes, Lucas gave him a shot, and that was a nice thing to do. You know,
let's face it, man. You talk. This is certainly a business that you go to breeding, and the breeding is there with the Asmussen family, don't you think, John?
I tell you what, Ralph. Did you see the winner's circle picture afterwards on the simulcast?
Yeah.
Keith Asmussen was taller than everybody in the winner's circle.
Yeah, I know.
And he's the jockey.
Yeah, it was amazing. You could see the kid was happy too. That's for sure. We'll wait and see how long he can stay a jockey before, like his father. By the way, Steve rode for a while. Like his father, he might have to turn to training, but he's having a hell of a time right now. And the breeding showed. He gave a great ride on that horse. And then, of course, the Rebel with Timberlake. You love this horse. It's Brad Cox. Probably his number 1 horse right now for the Kentucky Derby. Where do you think he goes next?
I think he's going to stay in Arkansas and run the next big race that they have there. That's what I think, but who knows? They take their time, they're patient, and they pick the right spot out. And, you know, he may go to Fairgrounds. Who knows where he's going to go? But Cox has been known to keep them where they do well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them stay there.
All right, John, I think that's a smart move, don't you?
Well, they've got options down there. Brad Cox knows what he's got, and I think that horse was based at Fairgrounds all winter long. Would not be surprised to see him go in Louisiana Derby, but what's the purse in the prep race? The Rebel was $1.25 million.
Yeah.
So what's the Arkansas Derby going to be worth? $1.5 million?
Got to be, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be more.
So that's pretty tough to pass up on if you like that racetrack.
No kidding. And John,
He likes the track. He got a perfect ride, and when they asked him, he responded, and that's all you could ask for. Listen, he wasn't squeezed to the max. You knew that they had other fish to fry down the road. But like you said, the purse was huge, so they took advantage, and Cox is no dummy. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Let me ask you this, Jonathan, though. You said he got a perfect ride. I thought in the early stages of the game he was kind of jostled around a little bit. I think he got a good education in this race, the way the race ran.
Yeah, but he kept him wide. He kept him out of trouble. Where if you look at the kid's other ride on the other Cox horse in the Philly race, West Omaha West, whatever the horse's name, that horse was in trouble from the get-go. That horse never had an opportunity to run. She was stuck between horses the whole way. Not to make any excuses, but she just didn't show up. She didn't get a great ride. Let's put it that way.
All right, you got it, my man. That's for sure. A great racing yesterday, I thought, all over the place. And we're waiting in anticipation for Saturday at Gulfstream Park. And by the way, just in case folks are interested, next Saturday, the first Saturday in March, not only is the Fountain of Youth a 50-point getter for the Kentucky Derby, but you got the John Battaglia out at Turfway Park. That'll be 20 points for the Kentucky Derby leaderboard. It's on synthetic, but still you get some points there. And then in California, John, they got the San Felipe going with 50 points there. And in New York, Jonathan, they got the Gotham for 50 points there as well. So next week we got 4 big races for the Kentucky Derby points and leading up to the Kentucky Derby, that's for sure. And it's starting to get really heated in March.
Well, the whole question is Baffert going to have any horses in that race? Because if he does and he wins, no points come out of California for the Derby.
Well, Jonathan, we'll ask John Lendo sitting right here. What about Baffert? What's he looking for?
I think he's got 3 probable for that race, including Moose. So that might be a non-point scoring race. But I don't think it's going to be a big field, and I think Baffert's loaded in there. So
yeah. If it's at Santa Anita, Baffert's he doesn't really care whether he gets the points or not. He's just going to win that race and kind of rub it in, I guess, if that's the right context for that. That's for sure. All right, time to get started, Jonathan. Can you give me a horse that might pay a little bit more than $2.90?
I will try. Thanks, Ralph. Let's look at the 7th race today, a mile on the main track, and I like the number 5 horse in here, Divine Armor. This is a 7-year-old gelding from the David Jacobson barn. You could draw a line through his last race. It was a stakes race, and he was not allowed to use Lasix that day. He didn't run well. He goes back on Lasix today, running in the optional claiming event. He's listed at 8-1 on the morning line. Isaac Castillo aboard to ride. I like number 5, Divine Armor, to upset and win today's 7th race out at Aqueduct.
Yes, Aqueduct 7th race, the 5, Divine Armor, Jonathan Hardoon's pick. Nice 8-1 on the morning line. But, Jonathan, I've seen some of your picks recently. The Jonathan Hardoon factor, where these horses are getting bet, but we get them in the winner's circle. And so in the 7th race, the 5, Divine Armor at Aqueduct. Where else?
Let's go to Santa Anita, look at race number 9, 6.5 furlongs down the hillside turf course. And I like the number 2 horse in here, Graceland Gray. 5-year-old mare from the Peter Uriton barn, Kazuchi Kimura aboard to ride. She's listed at 7-2 on the morning line. She ran very well last time out coming down the hill. I think she's going to be very tough in here. I like number 2, Graceland Gray, to win today's 9th race out at Santa Anita.
All right, 10 races today at Santa Anita. The 9th is the feature, the Wishing Well down the hillside turf course, and you like number 2, Graceland Gray, the 2 in the 9th race at Santa Anita. And you got, how many, 4 sheets today?
Yes, sir. Oaklawn, Gulfstream, Aqueduct, and Santa Anita selections.
Yes. And by the way, folks, when you're watching the graphic now on the screen, that is actually Jonathan Hardoon. He sandblasts well when he gets a tie and a jacket on, that's for sure. Hey, Jonathan, I know you've been working hard all week. Do me a favor. Just take a couple of days off. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
All right, Ralph. Thanks. Stay safe and be well. Have a great day, guys.
All right, you got it, my man. So Baffer's going to have 3 in the San Felipe.
I think so. And there were 5 or 6 probable, so he'll probably have about half the field.
Oh, man. Okay. Anyhow, we'll be right back with Rich Eng. He's up in the batter's box right now, and he'll be getting with us in just a moment. And, of course, we also have Jerry Jackowitz coming and more of John Lindo as well. So we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Alrighty, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Time to go out to Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. And first thing I want to do is congratulate you on your pick of Senor Buscador. Way to go, man.
Yeah, Buscador got there finally, that's for sure. And I can sit on that win for a while. I normally don't give out horses on the show, but I happened to give that one out yesterday. And you had a nice winner for us at Santa Anita yesterday. Yellow Brick paid $960. Now, I know $960 doesn't sound like a lot, folks, but got a perfect ride by Kimura and certainly beat the favorite in that race, John.
I tell you what, Richie, that's a horse that likes to wait when he gets to the lead. And you could see Kazushi Kimura knew, because when he got head-and-head for the lead, he didn't take it easy. He tried to go right past that horse and drive clear.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, because you see the horse kind of lift his head like, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
And a really good ride, a subtle thing that you don't notice, but he made a difference there.
He certainly did, because the horse was, as soon as he got there, he was riding with his head high while Kazuchi kept pumping on him. And it was like, horses are herd animals. And it was like he was telling Kazuchi that, hey, I just want to hang around with my friends. And he said, oh, no, you're not. You're going to win the race.
Yeah, he's a very polite horse.
Yes.
After you. Yes.
Yeah. One of those things. But a nice, solid win there, Rich, on a day when we were really searching for some horses that paid something at Santa Anita, with 6 favorites winning overall.
Yeah, and I've talked about Kimura last year, and, if people will watch him ride at Woodbine. He's the new champion rider the last couple of years at Woodbine. He's a great jockey. And, when he rides the winner at Santa Anita, he doesn't get the first call on a lot of barns, because you got Pratt and you got Hernandez and Fresu and Reese Bully, but one barn that Kimura seems to be getting some action is from Richard Mandela, and that can do some good business.
Yeah, no question about that, because Mandela's having a hell of a year.
He's winning a lot of stakes races too. He's got a good barn this year.
He sure does, and that's a nice barn to keep your name under that shed row. That's for sure. Well, Richie, I know you're getting started and ready for the March Madness. Will kind of anything happen yesterday in college basketball that raised a flag?
I was more interested in what's happening today, Rob, because there's 3 games that I really have my radar on, because because Purdue, the number 3 team in the country, is playing Michigan. They're going to be a huge favorite, but you want to see them bounce back because they lost to Ohio State a week ago. Marquette, the number 7 team, a team I do have in my pocket. They're playing host to Xavier of Cincinnati. They're a big favorite, 10.5. But the third team that I have at 50-1 is Michigan State. They're playing host to Ohio State. So, I'd like to see Marquette and Michigan State in particular win impressively because I got tickets on that.
Well, Michigan State, I know one thing about that team that I've noticed, that with that coach, he teaches them along the way. Those teams always get better at the end of the year than they start out the year, don't they?
That is true. I bought the first ticket on Michigan State early in the year at 22-1 because I had read so many glowing reports about the recruiting, the transfers. Izzo was saying this is one of his most talented teams in like 20 years, and then they stumbled out of the starting gate, but they put together a 5-game winning streak in the middle of the season. They did lose at home to Iowa this week, but I think this is a bounce-back spot. And, you're right. Izzo's the kind of guy, he gets his teams to play well in the conference tournament and in the NCAA tournament when it counts. So I just want some nice wins so we can get a higher seeding for Michigan State.
Yeah, John, no question about it. Izzo is one of those great coaches.
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. The teams that you see, in November are not the same teams you see in March, especially if you play a lot of the freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah.
They change. And you got guys like Izzo.
Well,
they're ready in March.
We got our man Rich Ing staying on top of that stuff.
And I listened.
For the March Madness. He was great in the NFL this year.
If only I could drag this race book to California.
Yeah, no, we're going to keep it right here. You come from California.
Well, you notice I'm around quite a bit,
yeah,
right?
That's right. All right, Richie, you got a horse for us, a nice solid winner for us yesterday.
Yeah, I was happy to join the party because, between you, Ralph, John Lindo, Jonathan Hardoon, and Jerry, I've been the anchor of the 5 handicappers, but I'm glad to join the party finally with Kimura. Let's take a look at race 8 today. It's a small field, 6, maiden special weight, but Baffert's got 2, and neither one is the favorite, but one of them I like a lot is the number 3, Normandy Landing. This horse cost $1 million. He's got a lot of those types in his barn, but this one ran kind of evenly first time out. Was beaten by his stablemate Maymun, who's won impressively, but Baffert a lot of times that second time out of the box, he just lets them fire, and this horse going around 2 turns today. So let's go with number 3, Normandy Landing, second career start, race 8.
8th race, Normandy Landing. It's Frankie Dettori aboard. The 3 in the 8th race, Rich Ang's selection. Richie, there are no anchors on the show. This is a team of handicappers, and I think they're the best out there, that's for sure, and you are one of them. And your entire card for today at Santa Anita is available right now at the RacedayLasVegas.com website. Just go there, and Richie will give you the rest of his selections for today at Santa Anita and a simulcast pick. We don't talk about that too much often, but I've been watching those simulcast picks, and they've been hitting regularly too. Hey, thanks a lot, Richie. Go back to work for the basketball. We need you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, Ralph. Thank you, John, and good luck, everybody.
All right, you got it. All right, we're going to wrap it up with more of John and hopefully Jerry J as well, so don't go away. We will be right back.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Okay, so if you think that after the Super Bowl there's no sports to talk about, well, we got March Madness right around the corner, and we have 2 great shows on this sports, this South Point Studios network here on YouTube that is a must-see. One of them is, of course, 5 days a week. That is Punchlines with Frank Nicotero. He's on from Monday to Friday, always has great guests on the show, and he does a great job there. And sports by the book, oh, you need that. You need that every day, 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 3 to 4. Saturday and Sunday, a half hour more. You get an hour and a half of that show from 8:30 to 10 a.m. So they'll be following us right here on the South Point Studios Network on YouTube. They are must-sees if you're going to attack some great sports yet to come, that's for sure. All right, John Lindo, before we get to Jerry Jackowitz, time for you to give us a winner over there at Santa Anita.
Okay, just real quick, if you're watching Santa Anita today, you won't see Juan Hernandez. He has one of those one-day suspensions. So does Santiago Gonzalez. And you won't see Joel Rosario riding on the way back from Saudi Arabia. He has to serve an extra day because he had some suspension days, and he rode a bunch of stakes at Sunland, that big stakes card. Yeah. So he has to serve an extra day there.
Well, that was that was a good trade because I think he won 4 out of the 5 stakes races there.
Yeah, I think he won 5 races overall. He rode more than one race, so he has to sit out the extra day. He'll go count his money.
Yeah, he won 4 stakes races in a row that day. So, but he didn't get the Sunland Derby.
Well, you got to give the other guys a chance once in a while.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, Santa Anita, I want to remind everybody right now that John Lindo's Lindo Report is available here at the South Point Racebook every Southern California Racing Day and, of course, other special days. The Lindo Report, when it's published, is only here at the South Point in Las Vegas. It is free of charge in the South Point Racebook here, as it is today for Santa Anita, because they love horse players. And they love John Lindo's sheet, that's for sure. By the way, John, scheduled for next week, a big racing day Saturday at Gulfstream.
Yeah, I'll do Thursday at Gulfstream with Santa Anita Dark. We'll go to Santa Anita Friday. I'll do both Santa Anita and Gulfstream because of that big Fountain of Youth card next Saturday.
All right.
And Sunday again, Santa Anita.
Okay. What do you got for today?
Let's go to the 7th race today. This is 6 furlongs on the grass. Ralph, we saw that grass course tighten up a lot yesterday after all that rain.
Yeah.
6 grass races, 3 wire-to-wire winners. Nobody came from off the pace further back than a length and a half, so you want to be up on the pace. I think number 8, Sawas D, in race number 7, is going to make the lead from the outside post. If he shakes loose here, I don't think they're going to catch him. And he's fresh. He comes off a little bit of layoff. He ought to have all his speed. 3-1 on the program. Let's hope the turf course keeps going the way it was yesterday. Number 8, Sawas D, race 7, Santa Anita.
All right, 7th race, Santa Anita, number 8, Sawas D, a 3-1 on the morning line with Herrera aboard. The 8 in the 7th race is John Lindo's play. Remember, you can get the rest right here at the South Point, free of charge. The Lindo Report. He's got a suggested late pick 4 at Santa Anita along with the picks. And by the way, there is another coast-to-coast pick 5 between Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita. He also has a suggestion for that on the sheet, right?
Yes, I'm going to go walk across here and play it after we're done here.
All right, you got it, my man. Now let's go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Hey, John.
How you doing?
Any thoughts?
It's great to see you.
Any thoughts about that Saudi Cup?
The Saudi Crown, he ran an amazing race on the front end. I thought he was really terrific. The other horses, ran sort of as expected. I thought Senor Buscador, is nice to see him get the bob at the wire. He ran a very gutty race. I thought it was a good race, and one turn, 1 1/8 mile races to me is really a great race. We see him at Belmont in it's the only other place we see them. And I think it's a great distance, a great race. It was a good race, yeah. It's a really good. So Saudi Crown surprised me how tough and gritty he was on the front end.
Also, we're getting the first Saturday in May is coming up. I mean, we're going to turn the page on the calendar into March in a few days, and certainly, the Kentucky Derby and all their prep races are starting to come into play. Did you have any thoughts about that Rebel yesterday?
I thought Timberlake really looked good late. He had a very long, effortless stride, I thought. He was a little bit wobbly in the middle of the stretch, but then the last 16th, he really settled in nicely. He looks like a horse that's going to get the distance. He looked pretty good.
All right, and I know that you'll keep track of all those races for 3-year-olds on the road to the Kentucky Derby, because we'll obviously get your suggestions on that when it comes up. But for today, we're going to go to get a couple of picks at Aqueduct, probably Santa Anita, the other one. But they got the track is fast at Aqueduct today. A little chilly, but fast.
Yeah. I wanted to say one more thing about the Saudi Crown.
Sure.
If it were me, I would never run him at anything but a mile. I don't think anything could beat him at a mile. He's pretty good miler, it looks like.
Okay.
All right, yeah, it'll be a nice day at the Big A. So we'll go to the 5th race for our first play today, Ralph. Number 5, Charlie 50 is a star horse on the power page and really pops off the page at me. 1 second, I just have to click over here and here.
While you're clicking, it is number 8 in the 5th race. Number 8. Charlie,
I mean, number 8 in
yeah.
the 5th race. That's me working. It's early in the day for me. He's actually moving up in class a little bit after what I thought was a really good race on February 10th with these claimers. I very often like current form when they go up in class. So I'll take the 8, make a good win bet here, play the 8 over the 3, 5, 6, and 7, do reverses. But the 8, that's my pop-out key and feature play, and win-win place type bet here.
Okay, now easy to get a little confused with that one because the name of the horse is Charlie 50. The name,
Right.
the race number is 5, but he is bet number 8. The 8 over 3, 5, 6, and 7 and reverse. And as you say, win bet on the 8. Charlie 50 in the 5th race, the 8. Santa Anita?
Yeah, let's go to the 9th. We're going downhill on the turf. Number 2, Graylund. Gray is 7-2 morning line, which is pretty close to even value. Maybe he's 5-2 is the right price. Looks really good to me. Just a hard hitter. She really runs every race, and I think 6.5 is the perfect distance for her going down the hill. She handles that downhill course fine. I like the 2, Graylund Gray's an awful lot. I'll make my win bet here. Play the 2 with a pretty wide spread. I'm going 3, 5, 6, 8, and 11. That's 2 over 3, 5, 6, 8, and 11. I'm going to do my reverses. This is one of those horses that J. Hernandez had, who he can't ride. This is a winner. He might not be able to ride. It'll go to Double K. Kimura Kazuzuki.
All right. Well, I got a ding, 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 ding here because I got a good housekeeping handicapper's seal of approval here because Jonathan Hardoon came a little bit earlier with that horse. And you and Jonathan, I guess your handicapping methods are a lot alike, so you guys land on a horse a lot alike when you give out the picks. And like I said, on this show, we never ask the handicappers to make a pick in another race. We ask them to make their pick the way they want to. And so you and Jonathan both on the 2. Your link-ups, though, widespread of 5 horses. They are numbers 3, 5, 6, 8, and 11. The 2, the feature race, the Wishing Well, down the hill on the turf in the 9th race. You both like number 2. That gives me a lot of confidence in this race.
Yeah. Well, Ralph, we do this independently because we provide the graphics overnight. So
yeah, absolutely, and that's the way I like it. I don't want you guys well, that guy picked it, so it's better that we get you the picks that you want to put out on the show. And once in a while, when you guys jump on it, both have it, or maybe 2 different horses in the race, it gives us an opportunity to make a wagering strategy, as you've always been talking about on Wednesdays. Your power pages, Jerry J's power pages for Santa Anita and Aqueduct, available right now at jerryjspowerpage.com. And I would imagine, Jerry, you'll be with us on Wednesday to give us another thought about a betting strategy or 2.
Why not? Of course.
Okay, you got it, my man. And you stay right there. I just want to quickly, while we got about a minute left, John Lindo, I want to thank you so much for being in studio this week. It's really a lot of fun to have you guys in studio because we can react a lot better back and forth, etc. So it was a really lot of fun. And we'd love to have you here more often.
Well, when I get out here, I'll stop by. We're just talking horses with our friends. That's what got us into this game, Ralph?
That's right. This is we want to talk horses with our friends, that's for sure. And again, your Linda report next week will be covering Santa Anita on all its days, plus a couple of days at the Gulfstream, right?
Right, Gulfstream Thursday. And again, if you haven't seen it, a really good card at Gulfstream Park next Saturday.
Yeah, Jerry, I got to tell you, there's a fantastic Fountain of Youth card next Saturday. 14 races, right, John?
14 races.
And out of the 14, 9 are stakes races, including the Fountain of Youth. But you got to take a look at that allowance race on Friday at Gulfstream. There is a Fountain of Youth type of field in that race as well.
Yeah, we'll see. Somebody's going to come out of there and jump up and try a Derby prep here in the final Derby
Yeah,
run.
I think the winner in that race will probably point towards the Florida Derby.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
All right, Jerry, a last word or two before we get you to give us a sign-off, but I want to remind everybody we'll be back here on Wednesday morning, God willing, the creek don't rise, at 7 a.m., doing more of Race Day Las Vegas, covering the great sport of kings, Las Vegas style. And so on behalf of John in studio with me, of course, Richie, and of course, Jerry there, and all of you out there, we thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you provided some information and maybe a winner or two along the way. In the meantime, say it, Jerry.
Have a great race day, everybody.